Good afternoon. Labels have a very deep impact on our lives. I've had many labels. In my school and college days, I was an achiever, a role model. I then moved into another phase of my life where I was recognized by the roles I had to play. Now it's all come around, and I'm recognized and identified for myself and the work I do as me. I grew up as a carefree teenager with a never-say-die attitude. I didn't care what anybody thought about me as long as I could do what I wanted to do. I never thought much about what I was good at and what I wasn't good at and what I was good at. So the good and bad didn't really matter. No pressures, no expectations. I was very happy with who I was. But at that point of time, I didn't realize how important that was. Marriage gifted me with many labels. I was so many people at one shot. I was a wife, a daughter-in-law, a sister-in-law, an aunt, and so on and so on. I identified with all the specifications that each role demanded and played it with aplomb. My children came along, and I was a mother, so that was one more to my repertoire of roles. But slowly, the me in my life was becoming smaller and smaller, but I didn't realize that. And then, the crisis in my life. The bottom of my world fell out, and I was standing alone, wondering which role I had to play. From what I was, from who I was now recognized by what had happened in my life. And more labels came flying at me. There was this little girl, a 6-year-old, a bubbly child, bright-eyed, a bundle of energy. She could role play, she loved to sing, to dance, she could make up stories at the drop of a hat. She was so expressive and spontaneous. But when she picked up a book to read, she merely pretended to read. She was puzzled. She could not make sense of what she saw. This little girl was my daughter, and she had a severe difficulty in reading and spelling. The first label emerged. She was a child with specific learning difficulties. More labels followed: dyslexia, no attention, no focus, attention-seeking, perceptual difficulties, bad handwriting. Some more followed: no confidence, low self-esteem, bad behavior, behavior issues, and so on and so forth. I could barely find my child. She was buried under this mound of names. I panicked, not knowing what to do. I held her hand tight, and she sensed the fear in me. Trying to make sense of this, I very hesitantly stepped into the field of special education with the intention of helping her. I held her hand and we walked together. Her faltering steps became stronger, and she no longer needed to hold my hand all the time. From walking behind me, she started walking beside me, and then she walked ahead of me, ready to fly. She has worked hard on herself, getting to know herself, her strengths and weaknesses. She has inspired me to hold the hands of many other children and walk with them, helping them to find themselves. In this journey, I have found myself, and I've realized that's the trick: to understand who you are and learn how to live, continuing to be who you are. Learning disabilities is an umbrella term for a variety of learning problems. Learning problems don't affect intelligence or motivation. SLD is a neurodevelopmental disorder which manifests in the school years in the form of difficulties in the 3 R's: reading, writing, and arithmetic. Most of these children have average and above average intelligence, and there is a big gap in their ability and achievement. Early identification and intervention are the key to success, though success doesn't mean that the problems go away. It is a lifespan disorder. If I were to tell you today that I have a learning difficulty, would you have any way of finding out that I had one? Definitely not. It's a hidden disability because there's no external symptom of indication that the child has a problem. 15% or more of school-going children have some kind of learning problem or the other. Simply put, children and adults with learning difficulties see, hear, and understand the world differently, and that's their strength, which we have to recognize. Einstein, Edison, Richard Branson, Steven Spielberg, Hafiz Contractor, the architect, Shiva, the percussionist, and Raghava, the artist, all from India, the last three. Would you call them lazy, dumb, retarded, slow? That's what children with learning difficulties are most often called. They're different. Their brains are wired differently, and so this difference affects how they receive and process information. Intervention is possible. That's what we can do about it. It is to help the child use the strengths and compensatory strategies to achieve their personal and academic goals. Children with learning disabilities can and do succeed. The challenge is to rise above these labels, and that's the work I love to do. This journey has taken me into another area of teacher training, in which I strive to empower young men and women and parents who are passionate to make a difference to the lives of these children. In this journey, I have been inspired by many young women and their determination and zeal to shake off the labels that they wear of being a wife, a sister, a daughter, a mother, and reach out to find themselves and help these children. Life has come a full U-turn. I've still got labels. I've survived, I've achieved, but now I know myself. They say a guru is one who helps you to find yourself, to be yourself. And my gurus are these resilient little ones, these young men and women who have shown me that I can be who I am by not giving up. I'm lovable, I'm capable, I can fail, I can make mistakes, I'm competent, I can climb mountains and stand victorious. They have shown me that nothing is insurmountable. And that's me, and that's them. I am who I am today because they are who they are. To do away with these labels, to work towards inclusion of these children in society, and to ensure that they get the recognition that they deserve is the mission of my life. Along with this, I would work on empowering teachers to strengthen their skills and also to build public awareness of this seemingly simple yet complex problem. My work, my life, and myself, they have all merged together. There is no struggle within. I can no longer differentiate the three, and that's being me. Thank you.